guess I shouldn't cuss for the people listening.
Right.
The first thing I say is, God damn it. I should probably go ahead and get them out.
It's not G-O-D, it's G-O-T. It's G-O-T. For all the God-fearing people out there.
Right.
Fuck. Motherfucker.
Super religious people. You can't cuss.
Motherfucker.
To be technical, the verse is don't let foul words come out of your mouth unless you're edifying. So, I mean, as long as your curse words are edifying, like, get your motherfucking shit together. That's edification, right?
Yeah, I guess
it's like seasoning for food to me.
Yeah, that's the only way I can show my emotion is through cussing.
Exactly.
The same way I do in my literature. Like, who are you to make me? You know what I'm saying? Who are you? You don't know me. But anyway, man.
Who are you? Who are you? Tell them who you are.
I am the greatest man since Ali. Actually, that's who I am. The people out there wondering. I'm the greatest since Ali. ChoppedByT. But I want to get right into it too, though. Scoe, Demo, how y'all feeling today, bro?
Alive. Blessed.
Yeah. If we look low energy for the people out here watching, it's because we just heard some bullshit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Just another case of a black man getting caught up in the system. And hopefully we can put that out to the people. And, you know, we can make a change with that. Something can happen from that. Hopefully we can help that man life.
Yes.
You know
Stay tuned for that for sure. Be ready to share, DM, all of that, tag, all of that.
It's really up to the people to put light on his case, you know.
Yeah. And, you know, something that he didn't get into that we'll probably get into eventually is that it was a lot of people that was involved with that they did that to further their careers, pretty much. I think the DA on the case ended up being a judge or some shit like that.
Very political.
Special agents that are now in jail.
But a lot of those people did that to further their career. But like I said, y'all get a chance to hear what we talking about, and it'll make sense later on. But, yeah, like I said, I want to jump right into it. I want to talk about group economics today, you know. And I want to define group economics to the people who don't know actually what it means. I think the name is self-explanatory, I would say. But just going into it, I want to explain what group economics is. It's just a group of people getting together with the same economic or financial interests. It's just that simple, right?
Tribe wealth.
Shameless plug.
Right?
Where can they find it at?
Really, we don't want them to find it right now. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we're not taking members and everything right now. But if you want to follow our IG, there's nothing on it. It's a Tribe Wealth Investment Club. It's just an investment club. It's just us. So, really, you know, I don't really want them to find it right now, I guess. It's something personal to me that I love that we doing. But you can create your own Tribe Wealth.
Exactly.
You know, and group economics, that's what we want to talk about. Do I look stupid with these headphones on?
No, bro.
I don't look dumb. No. I'm self-conscious about myself with headphones on. Like, same way with hats and shit.
Listen, after the month we had with the wireless mics,
right?
We trying to do everything it takes to make sure this product is the best possible. So, no.
Yeah. Because it's all about me. I got to look handsome on it. I can't be out here fucking around. But anyway, group economics, right? So, it's pretty much already defined it. But something that I want to give out here, and I really want to like break this down real quick to y'all. Something I want to put out here to the people. How simple group economics can be, and I don't know why we make it so hard. And I got a question for y'all after I explain it. Because I'm what they would call organizer, I guess. So, group economics. It's myself, Demo, and Roscoe all coming together with the same economic or financial interests, right? How does that look? First, we would need to establish a hierarchy, correct? Or a structure or leadership. Let's say Demo's the president, Roscoe the vice president, and I'm the secretary, right? That's first thing first. After that, you establish a set of laws or principles or rules or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And then moving forward from that, you got to establish responsibilities by name and title. So you got to establish that as well. Mm-hmm. So moving forward from that, you need income. You need money. You need a way to make money. I would say do something legal, of course. You don't want to be out here
right,
fucking around, you know, like risking your freedom and everything.
Nothing they're gonna send you to jail.
Exactly. So moving forward, I would say do something like get you a job. All three of us get a job. Let's say all three of us making on average about $800 a piece. Well, let's make it 1,000 for the sake of old numbers. I'm not gonna sit up here and do a lot of math, but we all getting $1,000 a piece a week, right? $1,000 a piece a week, and we dedicate 10% of that $1,000 a week, 10% towards account, right? And when I say account, I mean bank account, of course. Right. Take that 10% and we dedicate that 10% towards a bank account. And that would be $100 a piece. So that's $300 a week, $1,200 a month. In 10 months' time, that'll be about $12,000, right? In 10 months' time, that'll be about $12,000, and plus the other 2 12s for the additional months. But let's just say $12,000 again for the sake of just easy math or whatever. So in a year's time, we can have $12,000 plus, all right? During that year, you may ask what we doing or what would that look like for us. So every week when we going in to pay our dues, we would either get on the phone with each other or we would have meetings to discuss plans, to discuss what we decide to do, whether we're going to invest in real estate, where we're going to invest in the stock market, whatever, right? And we'll be learning. We'll be trading information with each other every week. That's what our meetings will consist of. And even throughout the week, you can get a group message together and y'all can exchange information within that group message.
About everything that's going on in the stock market and everything. Just keeping each other hip on what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. Right? So let's say we decide to do stock, right? And I promise I'm finna wrap this up. But let's say we decide to do stock. How would that look for us? Well, each week, or if we wanted to wait until we got, the year's worth of money, but let's just say we did it on a week by week basis. So we dedicating 10% of our income to the stock market. So within that 10%, we would say within the stock market, here's 50%, and we're gonna put it towards an ETF. A ETF is pretty much a passive investment. So we're gonna put it towards an ETF, right? And then we'll take 50% of that, the money that we have, and put towards that. So that'll be about $150 a week towards ETF. And that, or let's even go a little step further. Let's say about 60%. Or no, for the sake of math, let's say 50%. $150, right? And then that other $150, we would take that and we may invest into some disruptive companies or some growth stock or something like that. Something like a Tesla, that's real disruptive. We would invest into that. Or maybe we would go like an Apple, something that's safe, something that we know it's been growing.
You get dividends from.
You get dividends from them, and what you also get dividends from the ETFs, right? And what would you do with the dividends?
Invest back into
dividend reinvestment or drip, right? So pretty much we would do that with our portfolio, and that's how we would do it. It's just that simple. It don't have to be nothing crazy. There's nothing too difficult with it. And if you take the information and learn it as you go and y'all share the information, you'll know it anyway.
Especially, and I want to talk to, the young people that's in college and stuff. Like, I wish I would have did this. We used to get them refund checks.
Yeah.
Don't blow your refund checks, man. Put it, find something you want to invest in, learn about it. Learn everything about the company and put your money into it. I wish I would have did. There's no telling how much money I would have had by now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scoe, I just want to, because you just made me think about something just now. Because T, you can answer this afterwards. Everybody might not be into. What about the people who may not necessarily be into the stock market? What are some other things that you can use that refund check on besides blowing it on shoes or the latest drop on Jordans or even rent, which is important, but at the same time, it's not going to set you up for the future?
I would encourage people to look into stuff like tax liens, tax deeds, stuff like that. Sometimes you can come up off stuff like that.
Yeah, and just to even go a little further, what a tax lien is, a person got a lien on the house or whatever, and you can go in and you can pay that money. And, essentially you can get the house. But even a little step further, like if you got that and you want to get into real estate, if it's so many ways in real estate you can go, right? You can do wholesaling, which is flipping contracts. You ain't
got to have no money to do wholesaling.
You even got to have no money to do that. And I would say have a little money for the sake of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you sending letters or putting up like the little postings where we buy houses type of things, like, or you could just start you a business. You know what I mean? You can get product. Product is king. We say that all the time in Try Wealth.
Start a candle business. People love candles.
Yeah. Find you a demographic. Within your marketing, when you're doing your marketing, find your audience. That can be a group of 10, 12 people. You know, find them, figure out what they like. And more than likely, their friends going to end up liking the same things that they like. And they going to share it for you. They'll do that for you. There's so many levels to this in the way to do it or whatever, especially when you're doing it with several people.
Yeah, it's easy that way. I don't know why it's so hard for us as, black people to come together and do things, but it's much easier when we do.
And that's what I wanted to actually get into next, right? Or not next, but that was my question that I was leading up to. Now, before I even ask this question, I want to be fair to the black people. I won't say it's all black people. That's not true.
Well, people, period. Like in general.
But black people a lot too, because we pin each other. That's what we do. I don't want to put too much on the black people.
Right,
though. We've been through a lot. We can't beat them up. We see that so much, right?
Right.
So we don't want to beat the black people up too much, but they do be bullshitting though. I mean, it's just honestly, they play around a lot. But what the question that I want to ask is this: why can't something as easy as I just explained? Why can't we as men now? Because I can only speak for the man right now.
Right.
Why can't we as men, specifically black men, come together and do that?
Ego, just trust issues. Most of us grow up not trusting another black man.
Because we have one in our lives.
Have one in our lives, so that's what a lot of it come from. But most of it's ego driven. We always got to feel like we got to be on each other's neck for some reason.
Maybe, what is it? Not enough Indians. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah. Everybody want to be the man.
I think, Roscoe, you've talked about it. The black family in general, hustling backwards.
Yeah.
And us seeing something, and you can go into it more so than I can because I don't want to butcher the way you said it and everything like that. But beyond the pride and everything, and also I think we talked about all this before. Not being able to say no, a woman getting involved too. You talked about that with the Bloods and the Crips and reading about. I don't want to fuck up their history either. I know we talked about that, but the Bloods and the Crips, essentially coming against each other or whoever it was over a woman. And the power of not being able to say no. So all those things culminating into being in a larger umbrella of
I would say
pride.
this, and I use myself as an example since you said that about women. Stop overcompensating for people. When it comes to your well-being and your financial being. Like, don't be out here trying to impress your woman, buying her this and buying her that, knowing that, you need to further yourself financially to get yourself straight for the future. You blowing all your money on your woman. You look up, she leave you in a couple of years, you still stuck in the same spot you was.
Yeah, live within your means, basically, what you said.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And it wasn't the Bloods and the Crips, it was the 60s and the Trey Nines, by the way.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah. Please.
Well, I don't really know
have
myself,
mercy.
Actually. Yeah, I don't really know myself.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. So,
but you're right though. Live as a minimalist. I used to always say that. If I can give any financial advice to a young person starting up is and going back to what you asked Demo with the somebody getting their refund check, what should they do with it? I think you should further invest into your own education. And that doesn't, I'm not talking about school because you're there already and that's why you're getting the check to invest into your education. But I mean outside of school, the things that they not going to teach you, like how to build your credit up, buying books about that, how to, even establish credit, how to invest in real estate, how to start a business, what all you need, what tools you need to start a business, just learning financial literacy as a whole. So I would say that for sure, that's what else you can do with that money, further invest into your own education.
Right. Especially go back to what you're saying, learning financial literacy, because we don't grow up learning about that.
Yeah, we grew up surviving.
I grew up knowing that I had to go to work and provide for my family. You know what I'm saying? But we wasn't taught how to make money work.
Yeah, how to make our dollars work for us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you don't have to have a lot of money to do that.
I'm glad you said that. Do you have to have $1 million to give financial advice like this? Like, because I feel like a lot of people are in that, and we talked about it with the, young people not listening. I feel like a lot of us, I'll use myself as an example too, are in that wait and see mode, or what have you done for me lately? Mm-hmm. So we like, well, why would I listen? Kanye said it. Why would I listen to somebody less successful than me? So do you have to have $1 million or have a certain amount of income to be able to give this advice and give this free game out? Because that's what it is. It's free game.
I got a 2-year-old son.
You learn shit from him, though.
I got a 2-year-old son, Demo. I got a 2-year-old son who I learn stuff from every day. We had a whole thing about it the last podcast of what he taught me. So shame on the person who thinks that they got to learn from the people who already got it, because this is the reality. That's not your story. Mm-hmm. What we don't understand is to reach that amount of success that we see those people having, it takes a portion of luck, actually. Mm-hmm. Just right time, right place, and being prepared. So you got to be in the right time, right place, and you have to be prepared. That's luck to me, So that's something that we don't push to these young people when they trying to, when they looking at those people. We can't replicate Jay-Z's story. No. We would have to have grown up in the Marcy Projects in that time, doing X, Y, and Z, and meet Dame Dash at that time. It's not going to happen.
And it's
you
not
have to be step by step on that path.
Yeah.
Right. It's not going to happen overnight. I know everybody, social media make it seem like everybody good, everybody straight. Like, it's not going to happen overnight at all. You gotta be prepared for the long grind, like we always say.
Yeah, the marathon. I am doing very, very well for myself. I'm doing better than what I thought I would have ever done as a kid. Well, I always knew I was gonna be something. I always knew I was gonna be like having, but I'm doing like better than what I would have ever thought. But that's another thing, that I actually want to talk about is I'm my own biggest critic. I'm my own biggest enemy when it comes to, I guess, judging myself. Like, I'm pushing myself so hard. I'm doing really well, better than my mom ever did, better than my father ever did. I got better. I took the torch and I kept running with it and made that flame bigger, right? But this is my reality as well, though. Like, when you coming from where we come from and you start, it's like opening that third eye up and you really start to get the full perspective of everything. And you're like, oh, they don't know. And by they, you mean your people, the people, not necessarily black people. We black, so we would say black people, but the people back at home in the country or back home, wherever in the city, who just don't understand. And it hits you and you like, wow, wait a second. I got the information. I got all of this now. I could teach them. I'm at that state where I can teach, but we said it last podcast, they've been conditioned and trained so long to a point to where they used to doing what they do. So I'm having to make them unlearn that and then teach them as well. Now, granted, if I had a big sum of money, I could change all of that. And that's what I struggle with every day. That's what I mean when I say I'm my biggest critic. I struggle every day with, you got it, you having it. I'm doing really well. Like, I'm in the, I don't know if y'all look at these little articles or whatever, but it what percentage you in based on your age. I'm here to let people know I'm in like 1% as far as my age in regards to, the money and what I'm worth, so on and so forth. I'm in the 1%. But I am in the 1%, which means I'm doing good for myself, but the human beings naturally want to help others. That's what we want to do. We want to teach. We want to help.
We want to serve.
We want to serve. I'm not in a position right now to where I can help my other people, and that tortures me every day.
Yeah, it gives you like the what they call it, the survivor's remorse.
Survivor's guilt.
Survivor's guilt. Yeah.
Shout out K-Dot.
Survivor's guilt. Real talk. But Scoe, shit. Look at what you living through right now. You know what I mean? Like, and what you got going on. Like, you work hard.
Yeah. Got to go to work after this podcast.
You know what I mean? So, you putting in the work right now. Speak to that, bro. What people don't see. You know what I mean?
Like, as far as what you're saying is like just me having to like working the third shift and staying up all night, getting off work, you know, halfway falling asleep, driving home. Like, I just want to, you know, put myself in a better situation so, you know, I can help myself and everybody around me. I don't want to be doing it for the rest of my life. Working for another person, building their company, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's rough. And the only way I'm going to get to that is through group economics with my boys.
And you in the worst position. You know why? You don't even know, do you?
Mm-mm.
You in the worst position because you got the knowledge.
Yeah.
You know better now.
Yeah.
So you know every hour that you spending right now, what the hour is truly worth versus what they giving you.
Yeah.
Now that's torture right there.
It is. They give you just enough money to keep coming back to that motherfucker.
Yeah. But you know because you educated now.
Mm-hmm.
You got the game. You know how this work. You know how companies work. I know you know because we study these companies together.
Yeah.
So you know how that shit work.
So now I'm just trying to use the job to get where I'm trying to get. And that's what people gotta learn. Don't let the job use you. You use the job. And put yourself in a better position.
Absolutely. It just goes back to that example that I gave. You take a percentage of your money and then, you know, put it towards your investment. Essentially, that's what you're doing right now.
And make mistakes that you can bounce back from. Don't go out here making a bunch of babies and stuff like that, because that's how you get yourself in that hole, you know.
Hell yeah.
Felt like that was a shot.
Yeah, like,
was that a shot?
A lot of men out here. That's what
brother, I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't come here to be attacked.
You got one child.
I'll tell you that right now.
I'm talking to that brother that got 4 and 5 kids out there. You know, now you forced to work and hustle. You know, they know who I'm talking to.
Man.
So that's a couple homeboys, a couple cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know exactly who I'm talking to. Like, they know it's rough, and they'll come tell you on this show that it's hard for them. You know, they got 4 and 5 kids. They can't go a day without making $1. So they doing whatever they got to do to make that $1.
Yeah. Sick, rain, sleet, snow. It's not a life to live, bro.
It's not.
It's not. And just even going back to what you said, you know, it kind of tie into that whole concept of just doing too much, living for
The moment.
living for the moment, living for the approval or the appeasement of other people. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
It's crazy. Like they say on social media, what do? Like we said on social media, it looked like everybody made it overnight. I guarantee you they didn't.
Mm-mm.
There's only a couple motherfuckers who done that. The lottery people, all of them, even the one-hit wonders didn't. Well, even the lottery people did, because they worked a job to get that ticket.
And probably been buying tickets forever.
And been buying tickets forever.
Can I tell our secret?
Go
about
ahead.
how many episodes we've done so far? How many we've really done?
Yeah.
So,
give it to them. Let them know.
So, I mean, this is episode 2 to y'all, to the people listening and watching, but this is episode like 6 or 7 for us.
Yeah.
Just because, like, and of course we can chop it up. I can chop it up and throw it on the internet and make it look like this is only episode 2. But we know behind the scenes what really went into it. So I feel like that's just, you know, a practical example of what you're talking about, with people thinking that just because you got $1 million, it happened overnight. People like had this false perception, and now they want to chase after that instead of, like y'all said, realizing that it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is. And it take work. Just like you was just saying, like it take work. We up. We perfect. Everybody was the first one. They was y'all look so natural. Yeah, we got to practice.
Yeah, a lot of
Oh,
practice.
God.
A lot of frustrated nights.
Yeah.
We was frustrated right before this. That's another reason why the energy is low. Like, shit.
Yeah, but no, I'm always happy to be here because anytime I get a chance to talk with my brothers, it's always therapeutic anyway. You know, I get a chance to, you know, do the whole therapy thing and all that, but it's nothing like this interaction with people who living in it with you and going through the same struggle.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that, bro. And that's why I don't get with like what we was talking about earlier, why people, why they had that whole concept of like division amongst group economics. We all going through the same struggle.
Talk about that. How does that explain that?
Well, basically, we all going through the same struggle. We all living in it together. We on the same team. But it's ridiculous for you to approach that whole concept with the idea that we're not. that you on a different team somehow. Why?
Yeah.
Like, what makes you different from the next? We all going through the same struggle. And if we pool our minds and our resources together, then we can create something that will grant everybody's wishes. And that's essentially what the core group economics is. All right.
You got a lot of people just want to, what they say, shit on the next person.
Yeah, and y'all know me. Y'all know me, bro. Y'all know how I think. I know how y'all think. It's been troublesome, bro. Like, throughout my life from day one. See, Scoe, you done known me longer than Demo have. So it's been trouble. It's been like, bro, letdown after letdown. My whole life was just trying to get me and my brothers together, me and my guys together, and make this work. So many failed businesses. And I'm going to say failed because we didn't make money from them.
Right.
They were a lesson, for sure. It was a lesson. But so many failed businesses, you know, so many messed up situations that, in all honesty, in some cases, ended friendships. So it's like I don't come into this with ego. Not this. There's a lot of things I lead with ego with.
You need ego for like pick up basketball games.
Right. Like competitive stuff.
Yeah, like.
But I don't lead with ego in this. Right? Right? So I don't, because this, and by this I mean making money together, this could change everything for us. Y'all looked at what's the little app or the little meme or whatever it is that was, not app, it was a meme that was going around with people saying a wealth gap between black and white people. It's like black people like 17,000 versus white people is like 177,000. Like, that's when I see stuff like this, stuff that I've been knowing for years.
Yeah.
That I've been talking about for years, since I'm talking not even 20s. I was talking about this I was talking about this preteens. That racial wealth gap. I knew that already. So imagine me coming talking to a brother with that knowledge, armed with that information, that knowledge, and I'm trying to speak to him to like group economics and growing our money and getting together. But he treating me like I don't know what I'm talking
Like you lesser than.
You know, and listen, to the people out there who want to shit on people, I completely understand. Because when people do that to me, it make me want to shit on them.
Yeah.
But I never leave my brother.
Yeah, you can't.
You know?
I feel like it's our duty to like uplift each other and bring each other up. You know, brothers and sisters. You know, I don't want the sisters to feel like they being left out. You know what I'm saying? Because we always talking from a man perspective, but you know, they the backbone of us. You know, so definitely got to include them. But we just got to come together. And one thing I wanted to mention, like us as black people, we put our money in so many things, and I be wondering like why we ain't worried, you know, the white people yet. Yeah. I was reading something, and don't quote me, but I seen it was like black people invested like $4 billion into the church. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to, you know, ain't nothing wrong with it, but it's like, why aren't we ahead? Like, we investing into the churches, and most of them investing into white banks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the average man or average black man or average black woman can't even go in there and get a loan. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we just need to put our priorities in the right place.
And I'm going to tell you, because I know you don't want to say it, I'm going to say there is something wrong with that. Because you said wasn't nothing wrong with that. Yeah. No, they need to know. They need to know that it is something wrong with that. And the people who's receiving that money and getting that money in them churches, you need to put that money towards the right thing, towards investments that's going to create compound interest, that's going to be able to help those people in your congregation pay their light bill and pay their water bill and pay their rent whenever they need to, or send their children off to college. It is something wrong.
Yep, it is. And I know some churches are doing it, but all churches need to be doing it. You know, there's no reason that generational wealth gap is that large. You know, and we didn't put $4 billion into the church. Like that always be on my mind.
I think it ultimately used to be like that, and I think we can all think of times. You know, for example, like Black Wall Street. You know, back in the day, different things like that. But of course, over time, when those things were stripped, when, essentially white people, I hate to call out people, but those people know who they are, and we know who those people are.
White supremacists.
White supremacists, to be more specific. Thank you, T. When those people came in and destroyed what we built, this is what we were left with. And we talked about this before, how they use religion to control us and different things like that. And when we finally came up and were able to establish things for ourselves like Black Wall Street and being able to use the church as a business that was able to be reinvested into the community, this is what happened. So I hate to say it's white folks' fault, but, they kind of set us back when it came to that.
Yeah.
And I need to stop saying white people and say white supremacists. People who would rather see black people down here and them up here.
Right.
Let's break that down though, real quick.
Let's do it. Let's get factual.
Let's shake the barricade.
Yeah. No, let's
shake the table. Let's do it.
Let's break that down to a couple different levels, right? Because it's a lot. It's a lot of layers with that.
It's a lot, obviously. Yeah.
So did they set us back? White supremacists. They being white supremacists for sure, 100%. But see, there's this thing with black people. I'm black, and I'm blackety black. I'm so black. I'm gonna tell you. You wanna know how black I am, Demo? I'm so black that when the movie Friday came out, and people used to quote Friday and all of that, when we was younger, I hated it.
I remember it. I remember like yesterday, we were sitting at the lunch table, and I think I mentioned it to you. Then I was like, I said something about watching Friday. He was like, I don't watch that shit. Shit just got black people looking silly. And I'm like, nigga, everybody love Friday. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't understand where he was coming from at that time.
I was a kid. Listen, I was born in 92. You can check when Friday came out. I was born in 92. Right? So, after watching, and don't get me wrong, I can appreciate Friday. Why? Because that was the startup for a lot of black people careers and everything. And it shined light on a lot of important actors and everything that we have today. So this ain't me bashing Friday, but it's somewhat coonish. Same with Good Times. My mama used to say, that ain't the way projects look. Like, with Bill Cosby and his family on the Cosby Show, my mama used to say, that ain't the way middle class black families live. You know what I mean? It was a poor representation of us. But before I get too far off, like I was saying, it's layers, right? It's layers to this. We as black people can't continue to have that victim mentality. Of course. It's the white person's fault, right? Because it is the white supremacist's fault. And you can look at this, you could look this up as well, Demo. I want you to look it up. When we were released from slavery, and let me know if you can find it. What is it, Emancipation Proclamation? Whatever. When we weren't in slavery anymore, back whenever, black people over the course of I think 10 years had accumulated several $1 million, which would equate to a couple $1 billion, right? And forgive me now, I'm probably slaughtering that because I'm only regurgitating information that I've read, and I've read so much. So forgive me if I'm messing it up, but I do know that it somewhere in that is truth, right? We accumulated so many millions of dollars, and which would be the equivalent to billions of dollars in through today's standard, and the white people ended up coming in and somehow fucking us over with that money. And I think it's Freeman Bank was that involved in that in some type of way. And you can look that up, Demo, but I want to just continue. And we can come back to that, but I want to continue to make my point, right? The point I'm trying to make with this and with what Demo said is it's a lot of layers to it. We got to take some accountability on our end, 100%.
Yes.
We have to take accountability on our end and say that, we are mishandling money that's funneling into these churches. We are mishandling money that's going into whatever little group organizations that we have. We're not using it the right way. It's simple as just going. We have Google now. We have the internet, which gives us access to so much information now. It's not hidden anymore. You can just go look it up if you search hard enough and in the right places. Go look that up. Go look it up. Go find it. Educate yourself. And if you're in a position to do something with that money, do it so you can help these people.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And I think go ahead, Scoe. Go ahead.
I think when you go back to what you said, we waste money in like other organizations. Like, we both in a frat.
All three of us.
I forgot.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? You hate me. I ain't your brother.
Same frat at that.
Right.
Where did Phi Beta Sigma put y'all financially?
Back.
Yeah. I actually took out a loan to pledge.
Check out this. I paid twice. The first time we came through, right? So technically I'm the same sands as you.
Yeah.
The first time we came through in 2013, my president at the time robbed us.
Yeah, I know the story.
And we wasn't even like considered as like nationally known. Like, we was basically what they call it? Renegade. Robbed us. Then the regional director came down. He had to fix everything. And we had to pay twice.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just threw money into this organization that has never done nothing for me. And I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah.
You could come try to talk to me. Oh, brother, this. No, I ain't trying to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Sigma ain't did nothing for me. And I gave them folks almost $2,000.
It's crazy.
That's why you don't see me with nothing on or throwing it up no more. It did nothing for me.
Yeah. Demo, did you ever find that fact about the stuff with the Freeman Bank and all of that? Because I want to make sure that people get that. They need to hear that. That's something that I read, and I was just taken aback from that.
I'm still reading through it without interrupting the conversation.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is, even if we don't get a chance to find that, is y'all look into that. Look into that. It's in. You can find it in. What's the comedian? The comedian that wrote all the books. Dick Gregory. You can find it in his book where he discusses it. You can find it in a couple different books where they talk about that story and how they came about or whatever. But yeah, man, I think we do all of this financial stuff for a bunch of different reasons, and like one of which that we talked about earlier was the one with women. It's the reason why you want to do it to impress the women or whatever, and all of that, and not realizing that what I think or what I could say a woman will respect most is somebody who got their stuff together financially, not the person who recklessly posting their money and doing all of that. Exactly.
I don't think women see true security when they see that.
Yeah, and it's just it's same thing as a piece of jewelry. It's just flashy. It's just flashy. You like it. You want to touch it. You want to pick it up. Maybe wear it a little bit. Then after a month of having it, it's like
gone by my bed.
And that's why we always talk about this, the importance of financial literacy, even when you in a relationship with another person. The importance of that in a relationship.
A lot of people, you got to watch who you get in a relationship with, because a lot of people just don't value money.
They don't.
Like, it's something simple as just eating out every day.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you lose money that way, I looked up one time, bro, I spent like $300 in a month on fast food.
Crazy. You'll get there.
In 1 month.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll get there.
I had to tighten up. I had to gain some discipline. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Man, something we was talking about earlier this week or maybe a couple weeks ago, it was in regards to just relationships, because it's making me think about it, because we're talking about financial literacy right now within a relationship, but it made me think about it just now, is accepting I don't know, right? Accepting I don't know as a real answer. And some people may not know exactly what that means, because we all live in that. We live in that, the accepting I don't know as a actual answer. Sometimes your woman just don't know. I'll give you an example, right? Or your person, your partner, whoever, they just don't know. I'll give you an example. Something that me and Tyra used to always struggle with is me asking her questions, because I'm a person, y'all know me, I get information and I suck it in, and I'm always learning. My mind always working in different ways and all of that, right? So I be spitting stuff out at her, just trying to talk, just trying to, get an understanding. And I'm boom, boom, boom. And she'll just look at me sometime and be like, I don't know. And that would make me so upset.
Tanisha does the same thing to me, and I get so mad. because I just want to talk. I just want to have that conversation. I'm like,
it make you feel like they being dismissive towards you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
but they really don't be knowing.
They don't
really
know.
Don't know, bro.
Or they don't have nothing to add to that.
Don't you know? I just figured that out probably like a couple months ago. Like, oh wait, shit. She really don't know.
Really don't know.
She really has no clue. And this whole time I've been allowing this to frustrate me to a point that sometimes I'm like, man, I don't even want to deal with this person no more. But yeah, just being able to accept I don't know as an answer. Like, I don't know as a legitimate answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And not getting frustrated. I know I used to get frustrated with my girl. I'm like, ain't nothing in your head? Like, you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just messing up the whole, little dynamic. But sometimes people really just don't be knowing.
Yeah, you talked about that demo, like with you and your girl. Like, is that something that just caused an argument? How do y'all end it? Like,
Nah, Tanisha's weird, man. She's not a confrontational person. I tell her all the time, I don't even know what you're thinking half of the time. But yeah, it just comes from her father and stuff like that. They don't really talk. They don't have that relationship, being able to just express themselves. So a lot of the times she'd be like, well, I just don't know what to say. And I think the one time we did get heated, she didn't really get heated. I got heated, because I'm that type of person. I felt like I wasn't getting enough from her. And, we talked about this, because I told you about the one time when I was offended or whatever. Just sometimes you overthink it and it starts to manifest itself. And I started to get frustrated to the point where I started bringing up shit that didn't have anything to do with her.
yeah.
And she just kind of stood there and looked at me. In that moment, that made me even more mad because I'm like, why the fuck are you not arguing back or saying anything back? But at the same time, she didn't know what to say. So back to your point, sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah, and we got to learn to accept that. That being, I don't know, is a legitimate answer. Like, sometimes they just don't know. And what you got to do, the solution to that is, okay, you sit back and then you observe the situation and see if you can actually get to change that I don't know into I do know. And you figure out the way your woman communicate or way your man communicate, to figure out, to change that I don't know into I do know, right? Because that's the way to do it. You sit down and you just figure it out. You communicate. And sometimes communication doesn't have to be something that's coming out of your mouth. You just read the room or the body language.
Exactly.
First of all, you got to take the time out to know your woman or know your man. You just got to know them. It took me just recent. I'm afraid to say how recent. It's embarrassing because it's like knowing the person that you're dealing with, to know them. You have to know that person, and knowing them, and you can understand. Oh no, like they really don't know.
It takes time though, because like we always say, communication is an art.
Yeah.
You just gotta, like you said, learn that person. Once you learn that person, they'll accept what you say.
Yeah. And that it's not limited to relationships either. Friendships, everything. You just have to know the person and know how to deal with them. Yeah. Yeah. And stop taking it so personal sometimes. Like, I always reference this book, and I always will. It's my top 5. Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. That book changed my perspective on a lot of things. And what it talks about is just being able to see certain things from different perspectives. Like, oh, that police officer pulled you over and he harassed you and did all that extra shit. Well, maybe it's because his father instilled racism in him. Or maybe it's because he just had a lot of bad experiences with black people that he pulled over.
Like the situation happened to you in William County?
It was Tullahoma.
Tullahoma, the black female?
The black female, yeah.
Yeah, like she was wild.
That was one, brother, really I ain't gonna lie. It took me a while to get over that situation because, I done had white police officers harass me, honestly. Like, really harass me. I'm not talking about, like, something that I just made up in my head. I'm talking like they really harassed me. I've had that. But this one hit a little different because she was black. Or it was a black person, but more specifically a black woman. Like, if y'all know me, y'all know I hold a black woman to like a high standard, which is unfair. That's unfair to hold them to such a high standard, but I do. I was raised by a strong one. You hear me? And I hold them to such a high standard, and to see that young woman treat me like that, I want to say her name too, because I know her name, I know her Facebook information, I know her badge number, all of that.
What's up, man? You stalked her, did you?
I did a little, because I just wanted to see how she was living. I'm like, wow, like what's going on? I wanted to see, because you can kind of like get like a little snippet, just a little snippet of a person's personality through their social media. So, and plus it's public information. The local office up there put all of their social media stuff up anyway, so it wasn't like I'm like, let me find this bitch on my drug. It was more like, all right, let me go, because I was actually going to file a complaint. I swear I was, and I know that's not me.
But that's the way they handle it.
But exactly, I had to play that game, so I was like, let me go file this complaint, because I don't need this happening to no more young black men going through there. And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do it like that. Because I still got just too much love for our black people.
And you kind of figure where she was coming from when she did it.
Yeah, I get it. Because listen, and I'll give a quick little thing of what it was. So pretty much, she pulled me over, said my tail lights was out, and then went on to say that I look suspicious. Asked me what I was doing, and for the people who don't know, is I got my own. I'm self-employed. As I do deliveries, or I pick up specimen samples, or a lot of medical stuff. And I was in the city picking something up out of a lockbox. I had my key and everything, and I showed her that I had my key, and I told her maybe I can call my dispatch. She was asking for a badge. I don't have a badge because I'm self-employed.
Right.
Everything goes through me. I use all my own equipment, everything. And she was like, well, do you have something that can prove that why you here? And my question is, why do I have to prove that I'm here, why I'm here, if only thing that was wrong was a tail light? That made no sense to me. But again, I'm not gonna be that person. I respect the badge. I'll say that. I'll say I respect the badge, I guess, because I understand the brainwashing, because I'm a military person. And I understand the brainwashing because I was that person at one time. Anytime you're in a white dominated field like that, you can start to adopt some of their ideals and some of the things that they believe. It's just natural, especially these people that you love and that's taking care of you and that you look up to. But nevertheless, she told me I look suspicious. I took offense to that. This is just not the climate or not the right time to tell a black man that he looks suspicious. It's just not the right time. You asking for agitation. You been, so. She ended up telling me that, and she asked me to step out of the car. I'm like, okay,
Here we go.
I knew it was coming because I done been here before. I done been all of that, Too many times to count, I done been in that situation, especially when I came here, oddly enough, where I was doing all my dirt back home. I never got that like that much, maybe once at home. Like, not really, but here is where I got it, where I was just coming to school, just trying to be, a better person. Anyway, she told me to step out of the car or whatever, and they did the whole little thing of why you here. I'm not gonna lie, this looks suspicious. I'm like, I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know what information you fishing for, but it's not there. And I just think this is some bullshit and it's ridiculous. I maintained my composure the whole time the best I could, but to be honest with you, I was boiling on the inside. Not because a police officer was doing that, because we expect him to do that. It was because a black police officer, a black woman who knows what's going on right now, who you see it. It's everywhere. Like, read the fucking room. Like, maybe I was innocent and not doing nothing. What if I start getting angry and I'm doing this and I'm talking with my hands? But it was a couple other instances, and I want to save the full official story for when we actually had the police officers come on and just kind of give that to them. But it was some bullshit, basically, what it was, and it made me look at like a lot of stuff different. But I go on her Facebook and I see the situation that happened with George Floyd. She says, I understand it.
Oh, you can tell me that.
Yeah. You can go look at us. I want to give y'all a name so bad.
just do it off camera.
But she did. She said, I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. No, bitch. What's up?
She understands why he knelt on his neck for 8 minutes.
For 8 minutes.
She said, I don't agree with it, but I understand it. I don't know if she said it in that voice. I'm just saying.
That's how she said it. Fuck it.
That's that blue wall of silence right there.
It's like,
yeah, we do. I think we do need to save about it because I want to get into me and Chris's conversations.
We'll save that one.
Yeah, we'll save it. But we got in. How do we even get in it? We got in there.
He's talking about that. Talking about I don't. Sometimes I don't know is.
Yeah, I don't know being a legitimate answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes these conversations just take you to places. But you know, yeah, man. Let's try to just be more understanding, like the book says, like understand of a person's situation. Get that Malcolm Gladwell book, Talking to Strangers. I recommend that y'all go read that too. Just be more understanding of a person's situation because you never know what's going on with that person.
Just to give you a little bit more literature too, I just I finally pulled some stuff up.
Right.
I feel proud now. Jamie from the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm on your ass. But The Wait by Megan Good and Devon Franklin. Mm-hmm. You know, it talks about minding your triggers. So when we talk about things like, you know, in relationships, what we were talking about earlier, in regards to sometimes you got to know your partner. You got to know their ins and outs. You got to know what makes them tick. You also have to know yourself. So this book has taught me a lot. And obviously the Wait, it's self-explanatory. It's about, you know, them taking their time. You know, Devon Franklin, he was celibate for 10 years before he met Megan Good. Sorry, I was about to say Megan Franklin or Fox. He was celibate for 10 years before they met, and then they were celibate for another 7 months before they, you know, decided to get married and then have sex. A lot of that throws off a lot of people that Megan Good was. She was a virgin through all of the, you know, the waist deep shit, the video vixen shit. She was a virgin the whole time.
She
a lot
was?
of people don't. Yeah.
I don't believe that shit.
I mean, you just have to read the book and
read that myself.
You have to read. You have to
Even
read the
if
book.
she said it, I don't believe that shit.
You had to take that up with her. But no, it just talks about minding your triggers, and just, you know, it's taught me a lot about that. It's helped me in my own relationship, knowing exactly what makes me tick and different things like that. It's helped me understand Tanisa a little bit more. So just to drop that little bit of literature on you.
I think you hit the nail on the head, and we can actually really end on that note if y'all want to, man. We can get on up out of here. Man, hopefully we gave y'all some good information this time, man. Again, this is the ChoppedByT podcast, where we give real, raw, authentic barbershop conversations.
No raw dog this time.
No raw dog this time.
Thank y'all for supporting us, man.
Till next time.